So the name of the movie is Dangal.
Dangal?
Sorry, I whitewashed the name. Amir Khan is the dad.
He's playing Mahavir.
Oh shit. Mahavir Singh Phogat. He was like saying that my son will get the international championship for he'll fulfill my dreams of being a wrestler, right? He ends up having like 4 daughters, and he's like, well, fuck that. The daughters, one day, they got into a fight at school, which, mad respect. That was so funny. And then they came home thinking that their ass was gonna be beat. He was like, my daughters have wrestling in their blood. He's like, okay, if y'all are trying to fight, then let's go. We're about to monetize this shit. We're about to make this professional. Those little girls were like, okay, we were just actually trying to rough these dudes up. We didn't realize that this was gonna turn into a real thing. Yeah, where you guys... This is a real punishment. Yeah, so he was like, they're douching, they're school, they're training. There was like, when he said wake up at 5 a.m., I was like, I'm done. I can't. 5 a.m.? They were still kind of just like, yo, dad, like, I don't want to do this shit. Like, I don't know if you know this, but this ain't it. But it reminded me of, like, when my dad, like, when I was, like, when I was a toddler and I wanted to rollerblade, and then he just lets go, and I'm like, because the girls went to him and they were, like, kind of, like, sticking it to the man, you know? They're like, yo, like, we're not about this wrestling life anymore, okay? And they're, like, trying to come up with excuses, like, I'm doing bad in school. And he was like, okay, like, you can live with a few D's in your life, like, shut up. And then the other one was like, oh, but, like, she's getting bullied. And he was like, okay, come with me with a real problem. And then she was like, oh, like, we're getting lice in our hairs because, like, we're fighting in the mud and shit like that. And he was like, okay. That's a real problem. And they're like, yeah, we're done wrestling. And then he just chops their hair off.
And I feel like that was a point of contention between the mom and the dad.
The mom is like, I'm not bringing in any kitchen and any chicken in this chicken in this kitchen. And he was like, okay, well, cousin, you gonna learn how to cook now.
It's like, now you've got me reincarnated into something that I'm not trying to be, because you want to get these little girls to gain some weight. He's like, what? He's like, you fucked my real life up and you fucked my karmic life up.
So they go to a friend's thing. They're like the same age, like 14 years old or whatever. She was like, listen, like, I wish I had your dad, because, like, my dad is getting me married to a man that I don't even know. Like, everyone thinks that girls are burdens or whatever. And your dad trying to fix your future and, like, you know, make you the best you can be. And after that, they were like, oh, shit, you right?
Because everyone, initially, we're all watching this from home being like, damn, that is actual child abuse.
Yeah.
So these girls are either, like, gonna be married off,
or they're wrestling.
They're wrestling. And it kind of just, like, seems like there's probably a middle ground. The dad is like, okay, wrestling or marriage. They took Geeta to the local wrestling match, and they told her, no, you girls cannot wrestle. And she went there.
They don't like that.
And she kicked someone's ass. What were they wearing? Like, was she out there in shalwar kameez?
Oh, like... no. They took the cousin's clothes.
Oh,
and God. The cousin was like, oh, they're just ripping up my clothes and using it for, like,
that poor cousin.
The poor cousin, he, like, literally got the most abused out of all of them.
And they started doing really well. Start kicking all these little boys' asses.
So they win national or whatever, and then they go on to train in Patiala.
His whole self-worth is invested in them. Not unlike many lazy parents that we know. He's like really waiting to see the return on that dividend. You know, he's trying to get the most out of his investment.
He never spent that money. He put that money in the scrapbooks. I was like, yo, I would have spent that shit. That is why I cannot be a parent. So
it's like it's a
now the sister is also with them, and she was like, listen, do not forget where you started, bitch. Okay.
But then Geeta, the older one, is like, no, but there's actually better things out here for us.
Yeah.
Like, she started seeing a therapist. She was like, how we grew up was actually not okay.
But then she lost those international ones.
And that's how you
like,
know.
My dad was right.
Yeah, no, that's how you know that your parents are there haunting you truly for the rest of your life.
The dad, for whatever reason, like, I mean, like, he wants them to win, so he's like, my technique is the best technique. So he goes with the cousin and, like, starts, like, coaching them on the side.
On the side. Yes, and here I would say enter kind of the villain of the story, which is their coach.
But he got that, like, weird face that's like a bun.
What does that even mean? Like, what type of bun? There are many different types. Like a bao,
like
Hawaiian
a
king,
pork bun, right? Like, he's just like
dim sum.
Oh, the blobfish!
That was a shift for Amir Khan from, like,
that was his face.
The whole kya bolti tu, like
kya bolti tu.
Hey!
Rang De Basanti was so good. He was like a young, like 25-year-old when he was 40s.
And then if you're a woman and you're over 30,
your career
they're
is
just
over.
like lock you in a closet.
Just like, yo, like what happened to Ravina Tandon? Like, for the first time in my life, after watching all these Amir Khan movies, saw his ears for what they are.
And what do you mean for what they are? Like, what? The ears don't have a personality. But he had 90s hair before. I think that was kind of
that covered it a lot. Yeah, that's probably what, because like in this one he kind of had like a shape up or whatever. And then I'm sweating now.
Yeah, I guess it ends with...
Sorry, I had to smell myself. Well, by the end, the coach is kind of just like, meh, she's giving all the credit to her dad. Meh. So then,
yeah, the coach is like scheming behind the scenes.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, so
this
I'm gonna lock MSP out. And when he means lock out, I mean like he legitimately locks him in
like
a closet.
Like a supply closet or some shit. She's in the battle of her lifetime right now.
And this is Geeta. Or
in the Commonwealth games now.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, like, this is not about you anymore. This is about all the little girls in those little villages where they're thinking less than of these girls, okay? So you gotta fucking win this shit. I don't care about no bronze, no silver. You gotta get that gold, bitch. Like, I'm not kidding around anymore. You gotta get that gold for those little girls who are being told that they are less than the boys, okay? Because they're not, and if you win, they're gonna have that courage to go out and be like, I can be a wrestler too. I can be whatever the fuck I want now.
She's kind of in the battle of her life.
Mm-hmm.
She's looking around. She doesn't see her dad. And she's upset about this. And then she's like, really? Like, after all of this? He's not here?
Papa.
He actually has no idea what's happening, so he's stressed.
But
in the supply closet.
She wins. Okay? She wins, and then they're like, okay, the winner's country gets their national anthem plays. He hears the national anthem of India, and he's like, Vande Mataram. It's Vande Mataram. Okay. And also, that is not the national anthem.
What is it? Oh, Jana Gana
Mana. But then the other song that was hilarious and the song was literally, My Groom is an Idiot. And I was like, I finally have a song for my wedding. She's like, my groom is an idiot.
So often it's the parents leading the narrative, right? Like it's the parents determining what the path of the family is going to be, and the kids and the rest of the family members always have to like fall in line.
Because there was like literally a point where the daughters were like, can you please talk to our dad and tell him to relax? And the mom was literally like, for a whole year pretend like you don't have a mom, and they were just like, fine then. I love this movie for a number of reasons, because I think that, like, for one thing, it definitely took me for a loop. It definitely made me feel like there are so many more stories for Bollywood to explore that aren't based on like the heteronormative love stories and things like that. Like I was hoping for like a lesbian love story between like I'm always hoping for a lesbian love story,